My parents came to the United States in the early 80s from Pakistan. Dad came first to lay a foundation, and Mom and my sisters followed. Just look how excited my mom was the day my dad left to pursue the American dream. By the late 80s, Mom and Dad and their 7 children had established themselves in Northern Virginia. I'm number 6. Dad set aside his teaching career in Pakistan to drive a taxi, and Mom did everything else. My sisters and I lovingly call her Miss Shahida, calm, graceful, nurturing, charming, yet full of grit. Miss Shahida never had an issue telling anyone what time it was, in English, Urdu, or Punjabi. Her voice mattered. I still have no clue how she did it all, leaving her parents and siblings behind, moving to a new country, learning a new language, all while raising her family. While Dad was working, Mom navigated the health and education systems to ensure we had access to all the resources we needed. My academic career began at age 3 in a Head Start preschool program. When disadvantaged children receive high-quality birth to 5 education, the rate of return on investing in a child's future can be as high as 13% annually. And it has impacts on health, crime, overall education, and quality of life. Equity matters. I grew up and ended up defying all traditional roles of a good South Asian daughter. I joined the Air Force. I married a Southern gentleman. And spoiler alert, I did not become a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. My husband and I now have 2 wide-eyed, wonderful children. First came our daughter, and 17 months later, our son. When he turned 1, my son wasn't speaking yet, and I grew worried. I voiced my concern to his pediatrician a few times over the course of about 3 months or so, and each time, my worry was politely dismissed. He seems fine. But I persisted, and I finally received a referral to early intervention. My voice mattered. At the time, I didn't realize it, but I didn't actually need my pediatrician's referral because families can actually self-refer. Part C under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, referred to as early intervention, serves infants and toddlers from birth to age 3. These services include family training, home visits, occupational, physical, developmental, and speech therapy. About 2 months from referral, my son began early intervention. His therapist, Miss Robin, would coach us once a week. She'd give my son huge pillow squeezes, and together they would sing "Shane" from Moana. For communication, we started with the Picture Exchange Communication System, or PECS. We had symbols of my son's favorite items posted all over the house. He would hand us his preferred card, and in exchange, we'd give him what he asked for. Well, he caught on so quickly that we couldn't keep up with him anymore. So Robin then suggested using a high-tech communication system. My son would use an iPad with a specialized app on it, and that would help him communicate with the world around him. At first, as a mom, I was a little hesitant. If he used his talker, as we call his device now, would he be motivated to use his voice? I was wrong. My son received his talker, his expressive language took off, and he was so confident using his device. Accessibility matters. Miss Robin and early intervention changed the trajectory of my son's life. By age 3, he sang his ABCs, counted to almost 100. He could identify every planet in the entire solar system. I can't even do that. And he was reading. Today is his 5th birthday. Although communication can still sometimes be a challenge, he can read and write sentences now using his talker. His preschool teacher has me convinced that he's actually going to go on to win the National Spelling Bee, which is every South Asian parent's dream. His voice matters. In moments when I dig deep and I advocate for my child, I think of my mother. In South Asian culture, you usually don't question the pediatrician or the teacher who forgets to add your child's communication device to his education plan. As I pursue my graduate degree in special education, I plan to delve more into the intersectionality between race and ethnicity, socioeconomic status, and disability. My passion is in advocating for others, and I hope to help more families access early intervention. I also want to explore ways providers can be more empathetic and culturally competent. This means understanding the individual, their family, their community, and surrounding beliefs. For example, many interventionists emphasize eye contact. Eye contact, eye contact, eye contact. Did you know that in some cultures, direct eye contact is actually a sign of disrespect? Cultural competence builds trust and credibility. So, what can you all do to help? Listen with empathy. If someone you know expresses concern about their child's development, support them. Validate them. As a college-educated Air Force officer, I stalled for a few months on beginning services for my own child because I didn't listen to my gut. Remind them their voice matters. Today, there are Miss Shahidas, caregivers navigating the healthcare and education system all over the country. What if these families need access to early intervention services? Low-income communities of color still face obstacles to opportunity, such as accessibility and socioeconomic barriers. For many, this starts in early childhood. In Illinois, early intervention served nearly twice as many white children as Hispanic children, and 4 times as many white children as it did Black children in 2018. These families, they deserve our attention, and they deserve our advocacy. Their child's future depends on it.